Welcome back to Ruben's Lair. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Wanted to show you a classic game, probably one of my favorite main games of all time, one that I keep coming back to. And it came out in 1981, probably 6 or 7 years old when it came out, but I'll never forget seeing it in a movie theater and just being one of those games that I just keep going back to. I love to play. It's easy to learn, hard to master, and definitely one of the first arcade one-up cabinets that I searched for when they started launching theirs, and I still have it. I know there's plenty of other gameplay videos out there on this game, but I wanted to show you how it plays on mine. And I also have a little surprise at the end that not a lot of people know about. So of course it's here in my favorites. Here it is. And like always, make sure your trackball, the left to right x-axis is on track X analog, the up and down is on the track Y analog. My trackball happens to be named mouse 2X and 2Y on my machine, could be different on yours. And my sensitivities are at 50, and it seems to be perfect on this one. So I'll show you a little gameplay here. Your EHA machine has 35 versions of Centipede. Just a little fact. Factoid. This is just the regular main arcade version. And for those who didn't know, that's supposed to be a guarded gnome and a wand. As usual, I love the bezel artwork on this. It's just awesome. Huge fan of that old Atari artwork, the box art and their cabinet art. And Centipede has 3 different side bezels you can choose from, including no artwork. And there's one more in here. Let's see if it plays nice. There it is. And like always, you can also take off any of the artwork and play it with no bezels. Oh! Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So not a lot of people know about this version of Centipede. Of course, there's been lots of reboots and a lot of console platform versions of the game. But there was actually a cab that came out in 1992 called, of all things, Arcade Classics. And it had different graphic versions of Centipede and Missile Command. And if you don't know where it is, you don't know what it is, you'll look right over it because it's not, you can't search it underneath Centipede or Missile Command. It just won't show up. But it's definitely in Arcade Classics, and I'll show you what it's all about now. Seems like an odd name. Arcade Classics. It's actually called Super Centipede and Missile Command 2. And I'll do another video of that game another time. And once again, make sure all your controls are correct. The graphics definitely got an overhaul. They're not as aggressive looking. The gameplay is still the same. More or less just a graphic overhaul. Centipede to the left will start talking to you at some point. Oh, that was quick. There he goes. I'm not sure what he said. Ooh, okay. So there you go. Definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun. It's not the original, but it's still, there's fun to be had on it. And again, it's an arcade classics. Just a quick visual on how the Thrustmaster attaches to the front of the pedestal. Has a clamp on it and actually has an extension on it as well. So you just put it in between the trackball, tighten it from the bottom, and you can set the arm so it avoids the volume control. And then a simple USB to the front where the gun is, and there's literally one cord that comes down to the pedal, and that's all there is really to it. And then once that's plugged in, MAME will see it. The other games will see it as well, any PC games, because it just sees it as another controller. But I just wanted to show you how it looked before you see some of that gameplay. Okay guys, so I'll give you a little snapshot of how I have it attached to the pedestal in front. And I know it seems like a lot of wires, but it really is just one simple USB into one of the gun USBs in the front. If you don't have the guns, there is a USB connection in the back, depending on what kind of machine you have. But let me show you some gameplay. This game is a blast, and it's definitely a lot more fun, of course, with the steering wheel and the pedals. And I got my throne right here, it's comfortable. I do have an arcade one-up stool, and it's not very comfortable in my opinion, even though it looks really cool. I like the yellow car. Dope. I'm just going to do automatic. Do some tunes in here. And before we get started, just want to show you, I went into the configuration and I already set up the controls for it to work. You can do it however you want, but you need to set those up before you go. So, here's my gas. As you can see, my left pedal, right. And then here's the steering wheel, got full control. And then I set it up here on the steering wheel for my views. Thrusters are really nice. They have a nice feel to them. I believe this one has force feedback on it, but I haven't tried to get it running on the PC. I'm pretty content with just the steering wheel and the pedals working on it. Game definitely feels fast. Definitely has a ridge racer feel to it. But the drifting isn't nearly as sensitive. Ridge racer is sensitive on the drifting. Oh!
Rank A.
Let's do the next track here. The next track's really fast.
Get ready. Race for the top position.
It's nice because the Thrustmaster clamps to the front right in between the track balls, so it feels right.
Checkpoint.
Anyways, this game is awesome. With the steering wheel and the pedals. Makes a huge difference. Even if you don't get it from David, you can buy it. It's just a Thrustmaster PC1, so any Thrustmaster or PC1 probably work. Anyway, just want to give you some gameplay on it. And I'll probably throw some videos on some main ones and just show you how the main ones work too, and how you can configure them in some future videos. Okay guys, since I figured since I show you the last Outrun, I might as well just show you the main version of it and show you just a little gameplay on that one too. On this one I did the gear shift to the right paddle analog to the steering wheel, and the brake to the 1 and the 2, and the acceleration. shapes here. Let's do some music.
Get ready.
Forget to use that gear shift there. Moving on to the V pin here, I mentioned in my last video I wanted to show you guys a shmup on the V pin, along with the pinball tables. It has a lot of games on my V pin, and the shmups play really cool on it because they display on the bottom screen. And I was going to show you one of the 1940 series. There's quite a few shmups on here, but let's go old school and play 1942. I actually owned this game on Atari 7800 way back in the day. And it's still hard. Try this again. Oh, stupid. This game is still tough. It's better. Let's do one more time. Oh. Oh, jeez. I think there was some cheat codes back in the day on the Atari for this. Oh my god. Hey, a better percentage. Hey guys, I thought I'd close out this video with just a collectible that I have in my library. Just want to share with you. I have quite a few games. Some are valuable, some are not so, some are just sentimental. But this one in particular was for a system that I got back in the day, a Sega Saturn, which turns out to be probably my favorite console of all time. Just because at the time I was never really a console gamer. I was more of an arcade guy. So that was my first real one that I bought with my own money. And ended up just loving all the RPGs for it, and first party games and working designs, just to name a few. But this particular game was special because you had to buy it as an import. And a lot of folks, will you remember, this was Capcom's first crossover game, X-Men versus Street Fighter. And at the time, this game did not come stateside. So if you remember the old game magazines, Game Fan, Dave Halverson, he was carrying the torch for a long time, and his magazines, if you went in the back, you can find the import section, and this was one of those games you could buy. It was just highly coveted because it was pretty much an arcade perfect rendition of it. I can't recall exactly how much money I spent for it, but it was a lot relative to the time. I think I paid over $100 for it at the time. But still have it. And I still have all the original packaging. I still got the manual. The manual's in perfect condition. All in Japanese, of course. And the CD, as you can see, is mint. Always take care of my games, of course, but what was really cool about this one is that you needed the 4 megabit cartridge to play it, and it came with it. This is the only way you could play the game, as the game needed more RAM for the loading and the sprites. But if you ever played the PlayStation version compared to this was the real deal. This was pretty much arcade perfect, and a lot of folks were going pretty nuts over getting it. And if you wanted to get it, you had to buy it as an import. But not only that, you also had to buy the cartridge to play it. Still got it. This cartridge, just some of the old stickers I had on it. Through a series of turning the console on, putting the cartridge in, taking it off at the right time, putting in the 4 megabyte, and then inserting disc, was the only way you could play X-Men vs. Street Fighter stateside on your American Saturn. But it was worth it because it was perfect rendition. Around that time, there was another game too that required that 4 megabyte cartridge, and that one was a little gem of my favorite series, Metal Slug. Bought this one too as an import. Again, I can't remember how much I paid it during the time. It was quite a bit. But if you want it, look at this. I still have, I don't even know what that is. Could be a postcard, but it's untouched, just sitting inside there. Could be a cheat sheet, could be a mailer, I don't know. Anyways, I still even have the little liners for it. Just thought I'd share it with you. Thought it was kind of cool. And the game is perfect. So if you wanted the real version of this game, you had to, at that time, as if you didn't have a Neo Geo, of course, Neo Geo had this game. Your systems were very, very expensive. But if you wanted it on the Sega, you still needed to use the conversion and then put in the megabyte and put in the CD after to get it to play. But again, arcade perfect, and the only way to be able to move those loading screens, those sprites around, and two games that I still have in my collection I probably will never get rid of. Anyways, just thought I'd share. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subs. Let me know in the comments if you have any requests, any suggestions, and I'll see you on the next one.